Well, it may be December, but it's still a very exciting time to talk baseball. Joining me now is our very own Jonna Perlinger to talk a little off-season Yankees and a little off-season Mets. Jonna, thanks so much for coming on this morning. A lot of news to get to.
Yeah, thanks again for having me.
Of course. So let's start with the obvious. Juan Soto, who just signed the biggest contract in sports history, $765 million for 15 years. Now, listen, I know you're a professional, but you're also a Yankees fan. How do you feel, and what do the Yankees do to fill that void now?
I feel jaded a little bit, felt like there's no loyalty there, but then, the Yankees don't have time to sit around and wallow about it. Like we have a lot of moves to make, a lot of holes to fill, and as you know, the winter baseball meetings start today. So, time to get to business.
That's it. Now, let's talk about the other Mets slugger, Pete Alonso, who's now also a free agent. Experts are projecting he'll sign a 5-year deal for about $130 million. He had an off year in 2024 at 30 years old. Is he worth that kind of money? And do you see him staying with the Mets now that Soto is there?
Well, I certainly see the incentive there for him to stay now. But there are a lot of teams out there that could use him and need him. Obviously, the Yankees being one of them. And, look, he turned down 158 million from the Mets last year. So I don't leave. I leave everything out on the table for him to possibly leave. If the price were right with the Yankees, I can definitely see him jumping across town.
Now, former Yankee, let's talk pitching now. Former Yankee Frankie Montas just signed with the Mets for $34 million over 2 years. His last few seasons, including his short stint with the Yankees, certainly doesn't suggest he deserves that much. And another Yankee pitcher, Clay Holmes, just signed with the Mets for $38 million over 3 years. What can these two guys do for the Mets pitching staff?
I think, I kind of like and agree with the Mets' strategy here. I think they're trying to fill their rotation with some cost effective moves, and I could see them really paying off for them. Frankie Montas, I always say, the second year coming off of a big injury is, I don't know, I'm a firm believer that that's usually a big year for people. Like he obviously didn't have a big year last year after he came off that injury in 2023. But I can see him bouncing back this year. Take Corey Seager as your example. I always said with the Rangers he was going to have a bounce back year, and he did, and he went and he was the MVP. So you just never know. But Clay Holmes, man, it will be interesting to see how he transitions into a starting role. He can have a big arsenal, and I feel like it was a lot the pressure over in the Bronx that kind of held him back. So we'll see.
It's going to be exciting to see. Now, let's switch gears here completely. Baseball America recently unveiled its list of top 10 Yankees prospects for 2025. Topping the list is Jason Dominguez, who has seen some playing time at the major league level. Who are some of the other names on that list that you think could make an impact on the Yankees in the years to come?
There's certainly a lot of buzz around Caleb Durbin being a potential star for the Yankees. Excited about him. We still have Spencer Jones out in right field, who could end up being a big piece of the Yankees puzzle. Ben Rice. We'll see if he ends up getting a lot of playing time, depending on what the Yankees end up doing at first base. I liked what I saw from him last year, a little bit more confidence and kind of working with some of these big league guys. I think couldn't. I'm excited about his future as well.
We'll see what happens. And last question, the 2025 Hall of Fame ballot was just released. I love this time of year for this reason. The two big newcomers, Ichiro Suzuki and CC Sabathia, both played for the Yankees. I say they're both Hall of Fame worthy. I think a lot of people would agree. The question is, do you think they both get voted in this year?
I think, and this is not because I don't think he deserves it. They certainly both deserve it. I think with pitchers, sometimes it can take a couple of years. So I would not be surprised to see CC come back, another year or two later get in. Ichiro, though, I certainly think that he's a candidate to potentially be the second unanimous player to be voted in. I mean, we're talking about a 10-time Gold Glover, a 10-time All-Star, you know, 10, 200 hit seasons. So yeah, it'll be really exciting to see what happens. And he's such a likable guy.
Likable guy, and really no argument against him, as you said. It's December, but still such an exciting year. As I said, Jonna, thanks so much for taking the time to talk some baseball this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Head over to ONNJ.com for the latest news and sports anytime.